Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? Of course, you know it's your phone, Beehive Radio Shout In. Today, stepping in the building, I got one of my favorite radio inspirations in this thing as we speak. Poon Daddy, what's good with it, boss?
What's up with you,
man? Feeling good, feeling great,
man. I'm loving to see, you know, the up. Moving on up over here to Jefferson. Ain't y'all doing it like this?
That's how I feel too, man. But Poon, first of all, man, you know they call me Radio Shouty. Mm-hmm. But it was a guy on the radio that used to say, Shouty! And I used to love to hear it to the point to where Backbone had to sample it and put it in a damn song. One of my favorite songs of all time, Poon. Do you understand that? Oh, Shouty! I mean, Poon, talk to me about touching down in Atlanta and cranking up this radio stuff.
Man, realistically, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a very observant person, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing that I can kind of give you the real heart of it is that when I came to Atlanta, and the reason and the time of my life when I came to Atlanta, it was a breath of fresh air, but it also was a time of understanding because Los Angeles is nothing like Atlanta as far as on the cultural tip. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Especially back then in the early 90s. I graduated high school in 92. I came here that following fall. I started actually at Morris Brown for a semester. Then I went over to Clark Atlanta, which, you know, I was playing football there. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole reason. But while I was here, I was able to, you know what I'm saying, lock in with one of the greatest people I know in this city and a part of one of the biggest groups of all time. That was Left Eye. And she kind of was very instrumental and kind of giving me my, I guess you could say, my navigation in the business and in the city. You know what I'm saying?
How did you find yourself over there at Hot 107.9 though, Poon? Well, 97.5 at the time.
Actually, that was crazy. I was still at Clark, and then my partner, my roommate, who was RAs at Clark Atlanta, my roommate met Jason Staten, who was
what up, though, Jason? Yeah,
Jason Staten. Big ups to Jason Staten. Yeah. Met Jason Staten. I want to say either at Steagles or at a Chick-fil-A place, somewhere like that, and they got to talking, and he explained that he worked for this new station, the station everybody been talking about. And at this time, I want to say it wasn't even jocks. It was just like a constant loop of music or whatever that was just playing. So they got to talking, and he was saying, you know, he was trying to kind of find his way around the city and build with different people. And my roommate was like, man, you need to meet one person. Yeah. My roommate. And he was like, for real? He was like, he not from here, but he know everybody here. And I guess that started because of Lisa, because I was running around with TLC, so kind of just like put me in the mix in front of everybody.
Exactly.
In the city,
so now you at the radio station trying to figure it out, man. How the hell was you able to get on the air from just walking through the dodo, Poon?
Man, I guess the same thing because of my popularity. And Steve Hegwood, shout out to Steve Hegwood, which was the program director at that time.
That's right.
He seen it. Actually, the funniest thing ever, I was just telling to somebody, Jason Staten got fired like within 90 days of me being there as the music director.
Damn.
Okay? So me being the person that I am, you know, being, you know, some person that's like, you know, hood orientated, you know, I'm thinking, shit, when he gone, I'm gone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He brought me in, you feel me? So regardless of what I did or how much it was, you know, Mary Catherine Sneed, which was the general manager at that time and part owner, called me in my dorm room and said, what are you doing? And I was like, well, they said Jason got fired. And she was like, Jason got fired. Not you. What are you talking about? You got a bunch of stuff to do. So that kind of let me know, I guess I had some worth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And from there, as I was there, I think I want to say it was like one night, I might have been helping doing some production with Jerry Smoking B. Yeah. And somebody was knocking at the door. And I went downstairs for some reason. They was knocking for a long time. And at this time, the radio station was in College Park in like an apartment complex almost looked like. So you literally can hear, especially after hours when somebody was knocking at the door. Yeah. So it was a knock for a long time. So I'm like, this is somebody that must need to be here. So I go downstairs, and I go answer the door, and it's this dude with a flat top. Talking about, hey man, I rap. I'm trying to get da-da-da. I'm like, man, it's after hours. Da-da-da-da. And I don't know what it was. He was just like, you know, look, man, tell me what I could do. I really, you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to rap. So by the station being new and knowing what the pulse was that everybody, the jocks that was there, that was coming, is that people really didn't have identification on the station. So I was like, well, look, bro, they was just talking about this earlier. Listen to this station. Listen to the jocks that's on the air. Go do some intros to the different shows that's on the air. And come back up here and give me the intros, and maybe I'll see if they play it.
Yeah.
Well, at that time, Chris LaLa, a.k.a. Ludacris.
Yes, sir.
That's who it was. He came back the next day with intros for each show. Under different beats, different styles, flavors. All of them was dope. Every single one, every jock used. So that more or less got people familiar with his voice.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think Steve was like, yo, who was that did it? I was like, yo, it's this dude, Chris. I want to bring him up here. So I think maybe a few days later, after people heard it, I brought him up there. And when he came up there, he just, gelled.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I guess you say the rest was history. The station kind of just figured it out from there.
So what was it like when y'all had the hottest night show in the city, though, Poon? Because, y'all came to my middle school to speak, okay? I seen it, okay? I seen it with Gene Charles Young, brother. I was there, okay? Talk to me about the domination from 6 to 10 that y'all boys did, man, because it ain't been a show like that since, fool.
Well, look, let me tell you this. It really was like, I guess you could say, really learning on the job, or just really being truly authentic, because we were just doing what we feel.
Yeah.
People don't even remember this, and I don't even know if you remember this. We started out only on Sundays, but people, what I guess was told from me, from Mary Catherine, from marketing, from promotion, to Steve, was so many people that loved our flavor and spirit that we only lasted Sunday nights maybe like 6 weeks, and then they put us on Nabs' show, and it was like DJ Nabs in the lab. Before that, I was like just having fun, kicking it, clowning on these two guys, KK and Bootleg. They were the original two jocks that was on the air before Nabs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of got in touch with, what to do, how to do it, figure it out, and then do it my own style. And that's where Poon Daddy, all that, everything came from or whatever. So that's how the origin of, us actually getting on air. So once we became the lab, everything went through the roof. Like literally, we were getting, me and Chris was doing like 2 or 3 clubs a night, and we were just on Nabs' show. Yeah. So the station wasn't paying us because they was making money hand over fist. We were doing remotes. We were everywhere we needed. Everywhere there was somewhere to be, we was there. And Ryan really didn't like to do remotes at that time. You know what I'm saying? Ryan didn't really like to do remotes. So he wasn't really too keen on that. He wanted to really stick to basing his morning show. So everything pretty much that he didn't do, we did. So that was everything from 559 to 731 to the Atrium to Jazzy Tees to any strip club in the city you can imagine. We was there. We had a presence there. So
when y'all got y'all show and y'all started breaking records and y'all had to sit in a headlock, what was that experience like?
Well, this is what it was. This was kind of like a back and forth thing with us and Steve Hegwood, because I guess it was me that really understood the power of what we had in the city and the ear to the city. So we used to kind of argue, about records that we believed in and he didn't believe in. I remember one time I even probably got fined to the point that we had to sit down and be like, look, we know what we doing. If you guys can't necessarily let us do what we do, then we don't even want to do it no more. We'll just do a different type of show, because it doesn't make sense to be limited on what we know. We've already broke all these records. So once they kind of let us be totally free, that's when we was really able to do everything we wanted to do. But the whole time, I know in Chris's head and in my head, we were almost just culminating the time of when we can do something with his music. So it was like once we was known for breaking music, it would be easier to implement, us or him in that manner into that whole frame.
LaLa, adding her to the show. Where the hell did LaLa come from?
Now, see, I ain't gonna lie, that was Mary Catherine.
Okay.
And really a little bit of Shaka, because we did not like it at all.
Uh-huh.
We didn't think we needed a girl. We didn't think we needed any type of estrogen with our testosterone. We felt like we was the greatest things in the world. But in all actuality, it lifted the show to a whole nother level.
Yes, sir.
And it helped LaLa go to a whole nother level. So LaLa was that good to the point to where we knew from her being on our show, we were only going to do was give her a platform to be able to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she did. She was on our show for maybe a year, a little over a year. Then she left and then went to D.C. and just did kind of like after weekends or something like that because she was at Howard. So she went from doing weekends, I think, to her junior year. She basically had to lessen down her schedule at school because she was on air full time.
Damn.
Yeah.
So y'all sitting there doing that radio and y'all knowing that y'all need to crank up DTP. Mm-hmm. What was that like trying to figure that whole move out at the same time and keep a job, but then get this man off the ground and up through there so that y'all could get the hell on?
Well, it was strategic, realistically. We just had to make sure that, the station knew that we was in debt to them, period, first and foremost. But everything else was kind of like setups. Mm-hmm. So I remember at one point, we had a What's Your Fantasy might have just came out, and we was pushing it, and Alabama jumped on it real fast. So that was like one of our first paid shows outside of maybe like the 559 or something like that. So outside of the city, Alabama was one of the first paid shows. So I remember because of the hour different thing, we was able to drive to Alabama real fast and be able to get there, do a show, come back that night. So I remember Chris did that one time. We did that like for maybe like a month and a half straight. Now, this is pre-deal because we were still trying to figure it out. We were still growing. We were still selling. But the record was in high rotation on both stations. That's the crazy thing about it because to me, it's stupid commendable when you're on a station against somebody and that person respects you so much.
They play their record.
They play the competition's record.
That's true.
Gray Street is legend forever. Like to me, I don't know if people understand how real that is because you're basically just giving promotion to the other station. Yeah. Because that's where you can hear them at.
Exactly.
So for me, that was like one of the most commendable, respectable things that I've ever seen or heard anybody ever do. And I think at that point, we might have been killing them too, and we was killing them. We was real because we was up. Like I think we might have been closer. He might have been closer to us on maybe like 24 to 35, like older. Mm-hmm. But for the kids, 18 to 24, we murdered him. Like we had the kids, we had the teens, the college kids. We was killing them. So I already know for him to even play the record at that point, it was really, you know what I'm saying, for him to take out and do that, it was some special stuff.
So now the label starts to take off, man.
So the label starts to take off. Me and Chris, the whole plan was to be able to build something that we can kind of have the type of music and this type of music that we knew and we grew up on, we love. So I-20, Lil Fate, Titty Boy, Shauna, Four Eyes, the whole clique, really, we had like a way that we wanted to do it and kind of rubbed it out. And then a couple of great additions, Bobby V, Chingy came, you know what I'm saying, Sharifa, all came into the play. So it was definitely something that was dope, and we just built it out. And it started with Chris, and
did you feel like when y'all was at that radio station it was going to get as big and as crazy as it did for everybody in there?
Well, nah. I knew we was doing something special, but I had no idea that we would. I knew everybody was going to be successful, but I had no idea to the level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the level. But in all actuality, we were young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you ask anybody at a young age coming from, poverty-stricken areas and places, can they grow up and be iconic? Yeah, I want to, but you know what I'm saying? The realness and the happening. But as we got older and I really seen how, and because we knew and had the early toolage in radio, we knew what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we seen so many people fall short. We see so many. This is why Chris has been successful.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, we talked about at the station transcending the music into film and television and branding and all type of stuff. So this whole idea of what actually happened still was thought of. It's just the plan actually had to go into attack, because you could think about something, you could have a great idea, but to actually be able to plan it, attack it, and be successful with it, man, that's
a whole nother beast.
That's a whole. That's
So